Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. There is one thing which I've consistently maintained on this platform, that in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted and executed to achieve a specific political objective, and that nothing in politics just happen for the sake of it. Over the weekend, Raila Odinga lost his bid of becoming the next chair of the African Union Commission. And one of the questions which most Kenyans have been asking is, what next for Raila Odinga? Will Raila Odinga go to Bondo? I doubt if Raila Odinga will go to Bondo. Will Raila Odinga agree to support William Ruto, probably as a running mate? Maybe. Or will Raila Odinga team up with Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka to kick William Ruto out of office? Those are the questions which most Kenyans are asking. And because in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, earlier today something very interesting happened. The Nandi Senator, who is a close ally of William Ruto, because remember, when Rigathi Gachagua started rebelling against William Ruto sent the Nandi Senator as a Trojan horse in Rigathi Gachagua's camp. Today, this is what Cherargei said. Let me just quote him. We must now fully implement the NADCO report by amending the constitution to create the office of the Prime Minister and allow Raila to serve Kenyans in that capacity. This is the only way we can appreciate and reward him. That statement by the Nandi Senator is not a coincidence. I'm saying this because, again, earlier today, the Belgrade Member of Parliament, another ally, a close ally, who is the chair of the Security Committee in the National Assembly, was on Citizen TV. And according to him, they must find a structure of accommodating Raila Odinga. And he also mentioned that NADCO report. Listen in.
This is the reading that there was a Gen Z moment that gave us new momentum. We had broad-based government. Now this is yet another moment to give us a new moment and new momentum. Are we likely to see changes in government?
I'm not thinking there will be any changes, but I think, like the president did say, it should give birth to another moment. In politics, when you are confronted with such statement, it is extremely huge. First, it means that we have, in a way, to have. Let me go back this way. First of all, we have cabinet secretaries who are doing exemplary well, who are tapped from Azimio la Umoja. Let me just say ODM, for instance.
Yep.
And they have done a great job. Raila Odinga, he's coming back home. What will Raila Odinga be doing with his energy, with his wisdom, with his experience? I think we in Kenya Kwanza should accommodate him, that experience, that advice, the counsel that he will give us. And I think it will help in bettering our country, in bettering our society, in bettering our management.
How would you use it?
Sami, you've got this.
We have to find a structure that will accommodate him, Raila Odinga.
Prime Minister?
Whichever position that accommodates him, we have to find that position.
There are very few positions at the top. There's president and deputy.
President in Kenya is an election. You know that we passed that phase, so we are now midway. Let's look at.
Sorry.
We could look at the NADCO report.
You're off to something interesting. So again, there are two top positions in Kenya: president and deputy president.
Yes,
the president and deputy president, and those positions are occupied. And you know, the processes are known.
They have been before. They've been occupied before.
I know. But I'm saying, whichever structure that accommodates him, you know, all of us are here. Whichever structure that accommodates Honorable Raila Odinga to continue doing his job, I think.
What's your guess?
There are so many things in my mind. We probably will look at the NARCO report and see what the NARCO report did say. And I don't think it's really about positions for Raila Odinga. I think it's really about his resource as a person that he can give us as a country.
It's very interesting. You are saying many things in the same statement.
Sammy.
But let me say this.
I wanted to say,
watch this space will be a good way to summarize.
I wanted to say, for the first time, you've been so wonderful. I'm excited. I am overwhelmed. It looks like my party leader is moving on up. And I'm just curious. And what is so funny, Sammy, is that you see where we are. We are writing history as it's playing itself right now. And it's so amazing.
It can't be by coincidence that two close allies of William Ruto are talking of creating the position of the office of the Prime Minister after Raila Odinga lost in his bid. In my view, the two gentlemen are actually sending the message directly crafted by William Ruto, and I'm 100% sure that the NIS are following the feelings and the thinking of Kenyans about the whole thing. So in this video, I want us to look at why personally I strongly believe that William Ruto is contemplating creating the office of the Prime Minister in the Republic of Kenya. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two. Click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. Again, let me take you to another post by the former majority leader at the Senate, Samuel Pogosio. This is what Pogosio is saying. Raila might play a nusu mkate move in Addis or Kenya. But we know Raila by his character. He stands up for the weak and oppressed. After the AUC loss, the real Raila is coming back. And it will be hard for him to walk away or give up on this country. The only way forward is to revive BBI and create a role for Raila to continue playing a key part. Now we are talking of how many people? 3 people talking of creating the office of the Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto is keen on creating the office of the Prime Minister for Raila Odinga. Why is he doing that? Number one, and this is the most important one, it is part of William Ruto's strategy to stop Raila Odinga from running for the presidency in 2027. For those who followed the events as they unfolded on Saturday, when Raila Odinga was defeated, something happened in Nyeri. The people in Nyeri celebrated because they thought that Raila Odinga would then now help them fight William Ruto. In Kondele, the people there were actually mourning, but they were also very clear that Ruto must go and that they want Raila Odinga to come back and serve the country. So which means there's a lot of pressure because the other day I also asked you, who really sponsored the Ruto must go songs in Kondele? Probably those who are sponsored by people who want Raila Odinga to be on the ballot, especially the Luo leaders, so that in future they'll continue hanging onto the court of Raila Odinga. But why would William Ruto attempt to stop Raila Odinga from running? Let us go and use the statistics. In the last election, Ruto versus Raila, Ruto defeated Raila Odinga with less than, I think, around 200,000 votes. William Ruto's votes were 7.1 million. Raila had 6.9 million votes. The difference around 200,000. From those 7.2 million votes William Ruto got, 48% of them came from the mountain, which means 3.2 million came from where? Mount Kenya. Now, if you remove 3.2, let's say those one came from the mountain, and of course, there is also the diaspora, the Mount Kenya diaspora, around, let's give them 500. So which means the mountain gave William Ruto close to 3.8 million votes. If you deduct 3.8 million votes from 7.1, you get something like 3.4, which means if elections were to be held today, William Ruto is going to start from, you remove the mountain, because you want to assume the mountain has gone. William Ruto is going to remain with close to 3.4 million votes. That is William Ruto. I want you to understand why stopping Raila Odinga from running for the presidency is critical for William Ruto. Just pay very close attention. Let us go to the second formation. If you are to go to election in 2027, you are saying William Ruto's votes, if we were to start today and assuming the mountain is gone, is going to start with 3.4 million votes. The second formation is that of Kalonzo, Rigathi, and Matiang'i. Let's say they agree to combine. We are going to take the 3.2 million votes which the mountain gave to Ruto, because we want to assume they've left. That makes it 3.2. Then there's those mountain people who voted for Raila Odinga. They were projected to be around 1 point something. Let's just give them 1 million. We are already at 4.2. Then let's assume Kalonzo Musyoka will come with the Kamba votes. Another guaranteed 1 million. That's already 5 million. Then let's assume also that Matiang'i will also bring the Kisses. Let's just give the Kisses 300. Ladies and gentlemen, that's beyond 5 point something, beyond 5.3, 5.4 million there. Ruto will begin at 3.4. The Kalonzo, Rigathi, Matiang'i will begin at close to 5 point something. Let us look at the fourth point, the third formation, which is Raila Odinga. Now, assuming Raila Odinga will be on the ballot. In the last election, Raila Odinga got 6.9 million votes. Let us remove the one from the mountain. Let's just assume the ones from the mountain were like 1 million. Okay? Now they are going to Rigathi. Then let's assume the Gen Zs are also very angry and very bitter with the Raila Odinga. You say 500 of them will go. Then let's assume Kalonzo and the team, Ukambani, which voted for Raila, 1 million of them also going. So Raila Odinga will start with slightly 4.5 million. Now, it means if you are to go to elections today, William Ruto will start at a disadvantaged position based on numbers. Of course, he's the incumbent, which means he can play around. Ruto will start from that weak point. A rerun will be occasioned in that case. William Ruto might actually be number 3. And that is what is worrying William Ruto. And that's why William Ruto must ensure that he stops Raila Odinga at all costs from running, so that Raila Odinga support base can now move from where they are to his side. He believes that even if some of them will join the other camp, but majority of them, in fact, if elections were to be held today, the Luo nation will vote for William Ruto after what happened at the AU. Around 80% of them. So Ruto must ensure that Raila Odinga is not on the ballot by ensuring that Raila Odinga will be comfortable being the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. That's number 1. Number 2 is the winning formation. The office of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya is a critical element for William Ruto and his strategy of 2027. Because for William Ruto, in 2002, He had the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins. That is tyranny of number. Now the Kalenjins are not there. So which means William Ruto must find a way of crafting some kind of treble kingpins. So Raila Odinga becomes a prime minister. Who becomes his deputy? Maybe Joho or Paranya. Right? Right? You get me? Musalia Mudavadi will be told, wewe utakuwa to the bed of the prime cabinet secretary there. Then that will help him. Of course, the other team would also want to have that kind of arrangement where Kalonzo will have to be accommodated, Rigathi accommodated somewhere, Matiang'i accommodated somewhere. But for William Ruto, his main interest is Raila Odinga. So it's going to be very important for him to enable him craft a winning formation. Number 3, it is also now very clear that William Ruto is very desperate for Raila Odinga support. He really needs it, and he's going to do anything to ensure he gets it. Why? Because of 2 things. Number 1 is the numbers. If today elections are held and votes are cast and counted, the presidential votes from the mountain will go to someone else, not Ruto. Majority of members of parliament, MCS, governors, senators will go to other parties in the mountain, not UDA. Which means William Ruto's numbers will reduce drastically, especially in parliament and in the Senate. So William Ruto must get a way of getting some numbers through some coalition arrangement. ODM will have that number because for Raila Odinga, even if he will not be running, he will have to convince his people to give him MPs, senators, so that they can use those numbers to continue being a strong party in Kenya. So that will help William Ruto now to cover the loss in the mountain. So you need those numbers. Again, perceptionally, I've always told you that politics is a perceptional game of numbers. Having Raila Odinga as a prime minister who is committing to support his re-election will give him a bit of comfort that the Luos, the Kambas, the Luos, the Coastarians, the lawyers who have always stood with Raila Odinga will definitely vote for him. So for me, that is the other reason why he's creating this. But another very important reason why Ruto is creating the office of the Prime Minister for Raila Odinga is that he wants to stop Raila Odinga from teaming up with Kalonzo and Rigathi Gachagua. And just like I explained, based on numbers, if these guys were to be allowed, if Raila Odinga were to be allowed to join that camp, William Ruto is done. And lastly, with AU campaigns off the radar, and with the level of disappointments Kenyans have on Kenya Kwanza and William Ruto, Raila Odinga, who is free, can really be a great critic of the government. He can oppose this government. If there's nothing which William Ruto would not want to happen, if there's anything William Ruto would not want to happen, it's for Raila Odinga to start opposing his government. He would not want that. He would rather just let Rigathi make noise, Kalonzo, but not Raila Odinga. So once Raila Odinga is appointed the Prime Minister, that noise will. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to think, but that's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.